record. So hello everyone, good afternoon to those of you in Europe, good morning to those of you here in Tulsa. I'm glad you could join us for our last exchange student meeting before hopefully you were here on campus with us. The reason that we wanted to have this meeting is to just capture any kind of last minute information. I want to hear from you of how things are going with your preparations to come here to the US, and then just answer questions and very few updates. So my first slide here is, are you ready? And I know I just have a few people here on the call. Those of you that are on the call, you can just raise your hand. Do you have your visa yet? Nobody has their visa yet?
I'm sorry, I didn't know how to raise a hand here.
You can actually raise your hand. I can see you.
Okay, I thought I have to do it with a emoji.
Okay,
I told it in the last meeting, I already have a visa. I also booked my flight, so actually everything is ready. Yeah, I'm ready to come. So no problems here.
Perfect. All right, anybody else has any comments about their visa and flight? All right, I'm glad to hear that. If you have problems, of course, let us know. And in the to-dos and the getting ready to come, kind of this is a checklist. So your enrollment, if you're not enrolled yet, if you have any problems with enrollment, please email me. One of you emailed me yesterday. I'm working on your answer. But then all of you should be enrolled by now in spring courses, being at least one of those courses in person. So if that's not the case, please let me know so we can work on that ASAP. Second, visa, we already talked about that. Hopefully, those of you that are not on the call, they're going to be watching this video later. Hopefully, you also have your visa appointments. If you have problems with your visa appointments, let us know. I'm very glad to hear that a few of you already have your visas, so that's a very good sign that you're getting the exception to be able to come. So getting your flights booked. And when you do that, when you have your flight booked, please either email me your flight information or upload that on your CG online orientation application. There's a questionnaire there that asks you to put your flight information. So please do that if you haven't yet. Next thing is housing application. Of course, you need to get your visa first, but when you know that you are definitely coming, apply for your housing. I know just a couple of you have applied for housing so far. We do have space reserved for you, so it can be a last minute thing. The space is there waiting for you to apply. When you apply for housing, you pay a $250 housing deposit, and then Ashley will be able to assign you your housing. We have an area kind of reserved for exchange students, so hopefully you're all going to be living together or close by to each other, of course with other TU students as well, but you'll be kind of in the same area. Health insurance is required. If you get your own health insurance that meets the J1 visa requirements, you can email that to me or to Carla, and we will verify with our experts if it does indeed meet the J1 requirements. But you don't have to do all that. We can just get the TU insurance. You have the TU insurance automatically. It's going to be automatically activated, and you'll be automatically charged for it. So the only way to get that waived is sending myself or Carla a valid insurance that meets the J1 visa requirements. So when you do that, and you have only until the first week of school to get that waived. So you can do that now, you can do that when you arrive, but we need to get your valid health insurance that meets the J1 visa requirements. And all the requirements are listed, of course, in the J1 information on the State Department website, but also on our portal, on the application site. There's an item there that talks all about the insurance and what the requirements that need to be met. And also you can send, even before you buy, if you are looking at an insurance, you can just send all the information to Carla or I, and then we will tell you, yes, this is okay, this works, or we tell you, no, that does not work, does not meet the requirements of the visa. But again, the TU insurance amount will only be waived if you provide us with something, because it's required that you have insurance when you're here. That's not a TU thing, that's a US government thing, and you have to have the right insurance, the right coverage. So the other item on the list is immunization form. There's a form, you don't have to do it now, you can wait until you're here, but you can do now as well. And there is a form that you can see in your online application as well, that you just have to fill out with all the information about your immunizations, and then you can upload to the Alexander Health Center portal. And when you do that, you're done, don't have to think about it again. But again, doesn't have to be done today, but just something that has to be done up to the first weeks of school. And then submit all the information, the online applications. Pretty much is just making sure that you have read everything and that you are aware of things. So you just have to do some electronic signatures, put your flight information, and so on. So it's not a lot that you have to do, but it's just kind of telling us that you've read and you got the information. Any questions about anything I covered so far? Oh, you introduced?
Yeah, I actually have one. Are there any immunizations required, or?
Yes, Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma requires some basic immunizations. It's things that you probably have already because you have to have them in Germany. I don't know now on top of my head what they are. I don't know if Kim or Carla remember exactly what they are. I know it's in the form. If you just log in on your CG online application, there's a link there with the form, and you can, just fill out the form and submit to the Alexander Health Center. If you have like a vaccination card from Germany, you can submit that as well. Or you might have to bring to the doctor for your doctor to sign if you don't have a card already or a record of your immunizations already. It's not complicated. Most times people already have those vaccinations, not something new.
Okay, we'll look it up. Thank you.
Now, Laura, I believe there's been talk of wanting all the students to have flu vaccines if they're going to live on campus this spring. So that's just, of course, getting a flu vaccine is a good practice, but just be aware that you may need a flu vaccine, and that is something that should be available in Tulsa once you get here if you don't have one.
Yes, thank you, Kim. I had forgotten about that. That's correct. That's not something that TU usually requires, but because we are in a pandemic, TU is requiring just because of that and trying to minimize risk and mitigate what's going on campus and so on. Now, a reminder of the dates, we already talked about that in the previous meeting. The house contract starts January 15th. You can move in starting January 4th. You just have to arrange with housing, early move in, tell them when you're moving, and again, tell us as well, because I want to know when you are going to be here, so we can have a basket ready for you, can have some welcome information for you. That's why I ask for your flight information. But very importantly, just let housing know so they are prepared for you. And then orientation starts January 16th. Might be some little changes with orientation. We'll let you know the details, the link, the time, and all that. And then classes start January 19th. Just a second. There'll be some information about quarantine. I don't know yet exactly what's going to be. I expect that's going to be very similar to what happened for fall. So you move in, you stay in your room, your apartment for about 5 days, and then you get your COVID test. And then once it's negative, then you are done with quarantine. So that's the latest information I have. If anything changes, if we know something different, we'll tell you. But as Ashley said last time, while in quarantine and early on the semester, you'll be responsible for getting your own food. So there's a lot of food venues around Tulsa. You can, take an Uber to a grocery store and get some groceries. You can order takeout, delivery, things like that. The campus food service is not going to be functioning yet at that point. So that's the information that we have at this point about dates and quarantining. Do you have any questions about that? Yes, Melissa.
My question is about the process when we come to campus. I know that I will arrive in the evening in Tulsa, and I just wanted to ask if that's okay, if there will be someone who will pick us up and show us the room, or how is it going to be?
Things are very different this year, of course, because of COVID. Depending what time they arrive, I would say if you arrive later than 9 p.m., I mean, I haven't looked at your flight information. I don't know if you have submitted or not. But if you arrive more than 9, I would say spend a night at a hotel at the airport. It'll be the best, more comfortable way. There's two airport hotels, right there in the airport. They're inexpensive. I think they're between $79 and $99 a night. And I'd say if your flight's a late flight, stay in the hotel, have a good night of sleep. They have a breakfast in there, and then go to campus the next day. Years past, we had some form of pickup in the airport. Because of COVID and all that, we won't. Campus is very, very close to the airport. Well, the airport is very close to campus. It's not a very expensive Uber ride. So I would say take Uber, Lyft, or a taxi ride from the airport to campus. During the day, there will be staff and housing, but also when you get there, there'll be a phone number and I don't know your housing assignment. It might be different for each housing assignment, and we can get you more information closer to the time. But there is a phone number in the door that you can call, and the person that's on duty will get your key, have you checked in, and so on. So if you told housing that you're arriving early, they're expecting you. So somebody's going to be there to show you around and so on. So they have a 24-hour duty phone or a 24-hour person in charge that if you arrived very late, you could call them. But I would highly recommend that if you arrive more than 9 p.m., that you stay overnight in the hotel and just come to campus the next day. But knowing that you made arrangements with housing and then knowing your flight information, we can get things prepared and as well. And if you have any problems at all, you all have my cell phone on the WhatsApp group that I created. You can send me a WhatsApp message, or you can call me and say, hey, I'm stuck here. Can you please help me? And I definitely will. All right, but the thing is, you get to the airport, you get an Uber to campus, somebody in housing is going to be helping you to move in, and there'll be a basket there with sheets and blanket and some snacks just to get you, by your first night until you are able to go to Target or Walmart or, order some more supplies so you can be comfortable the first few days they were here.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good question. Thank you, Melissa. Any other questions?
Laura, I put something in the chat about the check-in meeting, and students can see, I believe, on the TU system about signing in for a check-in meeting, but we can organize that once, which meeting they should join virtually once we know which students definitely have their visas and are coming for the immigration. Then we can do the check-in meeting.
Yes.
So I just want students to know that when they go online and they're looking at all the different paperwork, you'll see information, I believe, about check-in meetings. But honestly, I can get in touch with everybody individually also to help set up which meeting is best to join once we know who's arriving. So orientation, just to kind of clarify, will be for all students, whether they are studying on campus or from their own country, but the check-in is required for anybody who is in the US. So I know that I'll be able to meet with several of you, but I'll get you more information about that.
Thank you, Kim. Yes, immigration check-in. I know Jonas has heard about that before because he was studying here earlier. But so orientation, the immigration check-in is a required part. But so you're gonna come, have your virtual orientation, and then we'll do a virtual immigration check-in. But we give you all the information at the right time when we have those final arrangements. But thank you, Kim, for reminding us about the immigration check-in. So last thing I just want to show you is that you then got your visa, your flight, you arrived, you quarantined, and then like, how about my classes? What's going to happen? I want to show you, this is the website. So harvey.utulsa.edu. That's our kind of portal for all academic issues. So when it might not be there yet because classes have not started, but you're going to see when you log into that, you're going to see here your courses that you are enrolled in. So in the right side, you're going to see so courses that you're a student, you're going to have a list of courses, and then you click on that and you see the course, the instructor, and information that the instructor has put there, syllabus, materials. And if your classes are online or have online components, then it's here where you go to access the Collaborate, which is our platform that we use for online classes. So all in Harvey. And then you're going to see the CG immigration check-in is going to be here as well under my organizations. You cannot see that yet, but you will see CG immigration check-in spring. So we tell you when the actual meeting is going to be, but there'll be some documents and forms. The ones that Kim was referring to is going to be here on Harvey. So there's a lot of things to browse, and there's how-tos. There's a lot of information here for you to just look at. But the more important part is that your classes are going to be here on the right, and the immigration check-in is going to be here under my organizations. So that's the information I had for you. Here again is our contact information, but you already know that. Any questions? Anything at all?
So I am not enrolled in any classes yet, I think, because
Yes.
yeah, as I wrote you an email about, like, I'm not getting a lot of answers right now, or any to that matter.
I talked to the graduate school yesterday, and they'll get in contact with you hopefully today.
Oh, okay.
All right, so should be very soon.
Okay, thank you.
And yes, we need to get you enrolled ASAP. I get that, yeah. But thanks for bringing it up. Anything else?
Well, I have kind of the same problem. I'm still one course missing, and I haven't gotten an answer back. So I don't know if I have to ask again, or if they will come to me and sign me in this course.
I'll say, if you have your course in mind that you know that you need to be enrolled in and you just haven't been enrolled yet, I'd say write another email to Caitlin and get you and say, hey, I'm still waiting to be enrolled in this. Can I please be enrolled? And copy me on it so I can follow up with her as well.
Okay, I will remind her. Thank you.
And all right, so I'm going to stop recording, and then if we should have some questions, we can go over those. But so for those of you that are not in the meeting, they're going to be watching the recording. If you have any other questions, just write me an email. Thank you.